Okay, so there's no error. Like yesterday I told you guys, right? Creating a function is basically like defining a function. Now we need to use the function, so we have to call them as well. So we need to call the function. So change slide, let's call it. Okay. That is my mistake right over there. So let's change slide and let's call the function right over here. Let's go back to our screen and refresh the page. Okay, so as you're able to see, none of the images are being showcased on our screens right now. No image, because we went through the for loop and we set the display property for every single image to be none. So none of the images are being showcased to our screens. Now what do we want? We want only one image to be showcased on our screens at all times. Okay, just one. So how we are going to do that? We'll create another variable right over here. Var n is equals to 0. That is the index of the first particular image, index of the first image itself. After the for loop, once all the images have been set to like not to be visible, okay, we'll just set the first particular element to be visible. So images n, that is the first particular, because n right now is 0, first particular element. We'll set up the style and the display. Okay, inside of the styling we set the display to block. This will make sure that the image appears on your screen, but only the first, because this is not in the for loop. This is outside the for loop. We use the for loop to make all the images hidden. Now we are just selecting the first particular element and making it visible. To do that, you just set it to be block. It will be visible right over there. Let's save this. Let us go back to our website, refresh the page. As you're able to see, only the first particular image is being showcased on our screens. Rest of the images are not. Now what we're going to do is we are going to implement the JavaScript code, so that once we click on this particular button, okay, the previous arrow or the next arrow, we are able to get the stuff on our screens. We are able to change the images right over there. So can you think about how are we going to do it? What is the only thing that needs to be changed so that that particular image is being showcased on our screen? Think about it. So let's assume that I'm clicking on this previous button. What is happening? I want to showcase the previous particular image on my screen. So this particular image should be hidden and the previous image should be showcased on our screen itself. So the only thing that I need to change is the value of n. If I change the value of n and to, let's say, 1, and then I refresh this particular code itself, I should just get the image with the index 1 on my screen, and the rest of everything will be like not visible. That is how you basically shift through the images itself. So how can we implement that through JavaScript? This is where things get a little bit more exciting in nature. So what we will do is the previous button, PRE, I don't remember the CSS that I've used. Sorry, then so yeah, we have just used previous. So PREV previous, okay, dot add event listener. I want to listen to an event. So what is an event in JavaScript? Something happened on your website. The user interacted with your website somehow. Now here, what do I want to listen for? A click happening on the button. A click. Whenever a click is happening on the previous button, that is the event that I'm listening for. When that happens, then my image should change. Then my value of n should change. Right? So here, add event listener. So right now JavaScript is going to listen for an event right over there. Which type of event am I going to listen for? I'm going to listen for a click. I'm going to listen for a click itself. So here I'm basically listening for a click. Now once that click is happening, what do I want? I want to execute a certain code. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a nameless anonymous callback function. This is called as an anonymous callback function, guys. Anonymous, as the name suggests, this function does not have a name. Why does it not have a name? Because I'm not going to use this function anytime at a later point of time. I'm just going to use this function just right over here to just listen for the event, and when the click happens, this function should get executed. Nowhere else in the entire code I'm going to ever use it again. So giving it a name is actually redundant. You're actually like wasting memory inside of your computer, making the code unnecessary big. So we call this as a nameless function. As you're able to see, we just declare function and then the parenthesis right over here. That's it. That is how we basically declare this particular function. Then we are going to put up the parenthesis right over here, which will contain the code that I want to get executed once this particular thing is happening. This event is happening right over here. inside of this parenthesis, just put an E. Okay, that is basically the event. That is how you describe it inside of JavaScript. So whatever event happened, the E basically represents the event itself. So just put E right over there. Now, if in the scenario, now there are two cases, right? If n is greater than 0, we are at the previous button itself. So we want to reduce the value of n by 1, right? We want to reduce the value of n by 1. So if n is greater than 0, in that particular case, what should happen? We should just decrease the value of n, right? We should just decrease the value of n, as simple as that. So n minus minus, that is all that we need to do. Am I right, guys? If the value of n is greater than 0, then that means it is either 1 or 2. That is the only two values of n that is possible. So in that case, we just have to decrease the value of n by 1 to go to the previous image itself. Okay, but else in the case that n is equal to 0 or is less than 0, n cannot be less than 0. First of all, you need to understand it. N cannot be less than 0 because indexing, that is our houses, it can either be 0, 1 or 2. It cannot be -1. There's no -1 house. So if you are having n is equals to, let's say 0, right now you are at the first image and you click on the previous button, there is no previous image. I want to go back to the last image, that is n is equals to 2. I want to go back to the last image itself. Now how to go back to the last image? I don't know how many images I'm having in my particular array. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. But I know how to go to the last image itself. Do you guys remember? Right now we just talked about it. The last particular element, I want to go from here. If n is equals to 0, I want to go from here to the last particular element itself. This is where I want to go. How can I do that? This particular index will be images.length, that is number of elements, -1. That is the index of the last element. That is what I want to do right over here. So else n is equals to images.length -1. So I've updated the value of the image itself. Are you guys able to understand this? I've updated the value of my image itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Now once you have updated the value of the image, what do you want to do? I want to change the slide, right, with the new value of n, so that only that particular image is being shown and the rest of the images are hidden from the user itself. So I need to call this function once again, and now the updated value of n will be used. Now the updated value of n will be used. N will no longer be just 0 because we have updated the value of n right over here. So let us save this. Let us go back to our website. Let us refresh our page itself. So we are having the 0th particular, that is the first particular image being shown to us. Let us click on the previous button. As you're able to see, we are able to go through all the images, no matter how many are there. We will increase the number of images for you guys to see as well. Now the same thing we have to do for the forward button. But for the forward button, what is the thing that you need to keep in mind? You cannot go above 2 because the n is equals to image.length -1. You cannot go above that because there is no particular element above that. You need to change it back to 0. You need to change it back to 0, guys. So how are we going to do that? We'll just copy paste the same code itself and change a little bit things. Okay, so we'll copy paste the exact same code, Control C, Control V. This time we want to check for the next particular item. So next.add event listener, click function E. Okay, and if n is less than images.length -1, in that particular case we'll increase the value of n because we can go to the next particular element itself. Whereas in the other cases it should be n is equals to 0. Otherwise, if the value of n is equal to images.length -1, in that particular case it is already at the last image. There's no next image to that. We need to go back to 0 right over there. So what we're going to do is we are going to save it right over here. We're going to go back to our website, refresh our page. And as you're able to see, we are able to go to the next particular item as well. We're able to go to the previous particular item as well. And now that we have implemented our slider, it's as simple as that. The slider is done. Now we can increase the number of images that are there on our screen, guys. Let's do that. I don't know how many images are there, so let me just check. img src is equals to assets dot slash assets slash ga. So we are having total 6 particular headers. Okay, so we'll just put it for 4th and we'll just copy paste the rest of the stuff. Control V, this will be for 4. Let's just copy paste these 2 things as well. So we'll just add all the images right over there so that you are able to see that we don't have to change anything in our JavaScript code. We have made it independent of how many elements are there on your screen or how many images are there on your screen, because we used images.length. Okay, so 5 and similar to that here 6, and we'll save this up. We'll go back to our website, refresh our page. And as you're able to see, we are able to go through all the particular items, both in the forward as well as in the backward direction. So everything is working absolutely fine for us. Now that we have done this, let's add some products on our website so that we are able to finish up our project. Okay, that will take us like 5-10 minutes max, I think. So you guys will be able to do it yourself as well, but nevertheless I'll still do it for you guys so that you guys are not facing any kind of problems. Okay, so let's start implementing the box. Now if I go back to my Instagram page itself, it has 4 particular items in one particular box, so I don't want to do that. So what I'll do is I'll keep the one particular image and I'll keep the rest of the stuff same, and that will look a little bit more okayish for me, like that for me at least. So let's try to do that. It will be easier for me. Otherwise you can definitely put 4 images as well. That is up to you guys to decide, not to me. Okay, so let's move on to the next particular item itself. Let's do that. Let's create a div tag right over here, div class. And did I switch on the recording? Yeah. Okay, I thought I had forgotten about it. Div class box row, and let's close it up right over here. Should have created the end script. Okay, the end script hasn't been created. Let's do that as well. So div, so this will create the end script. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is open up my Kada because it prevents me from writing code, and we'll just create another div class, div, and we'll put up our class as box column, and we will put up our image right over here, first an h3. Again guys, you can definitely use an h1 and then change its like sizing. That is up to you guys. I'm just directly using an h3. Okay, and we'll put up free domestic returns, and we'll use the image img src is equals to dot slash assets slash box1.1.jpg. Let's put up an alternate text as well, alt. Let's just put box1.1, and let's keep it as simple as possible for right now. We can later on change it, of course, there is no issues in that. And we need a clickable thing as well, as you're able to see right over here, see more, that is also required for us. So let us put an a tag right over here, and inside of the a tag we'll put an href. It need not go anywhere for right now, so we'll just put a / and shop more. Okay, let's put up a simple one right over here. Let's go back to our particular website and let's see what is coming up on our screen. So we're having this particular image right over here and shop more, so we need to implement the CSS for it. So let's try to implement the CSS. We have other images as well, definitely, yes. We will definitely put them up as well. Let's first just implement the CSS, then we can increase the number of items right over here, right? So let's go back to our CSS and let's create the CSS right over here, and that is going to be dot box row. Did I use an underscore or a hyphen? Okay, I have used a hyphen right over here. So hyphen row, and let's put it up right over here, display flex, again because we want everything to be right over there, flex wrap. We'll put up the flex wrap as what should we put up as wrap? Okay, row underscore gap. We'll put it up as 20 pixels. Justify content, let's put it up as space between. So all the three will be spaced evenly right over there. That is what we want at the end of the day. Margin, let's put it up as 20 pixels on the top and bottom, and 30 pixels on the left and right. So that should give us a good margin right over there. The next thing that we want to do is for the box column. Dot box column. I hope so that I've used the right one. Yeah, box column. Okay, great. No spelling mistakes. I hope so. Display flex. Next, we want to use flex direction column. By default it is row wise, but here because we want all our items to be in the same column itself, so we are using flex column. That will give us the right direction to our flex. Okay, so by default it is row wise, as we have seen up till this point of time. Here we want all the three items to be in the same column, not in the same row. So that is the reason why we are doing this. Let's put up a gap right over here, gap of 10 pixels, and padding. Put up a padding of 15 on the top and bottom, just like always, and 20 on the left and right, so that everything looks nice. Background, of course, we need to put it up a white background right over there. If you guys remember, on Amazon as well, you have a white background in the background, so we have to put white. Then what is the next thing? Max width, we'll put it up as 24%. And minimum height, okay, so it shouldn't be smaller than this, so minimum height, we'll put it up as 200 pixels. That should get us a good particular layout right over here. Let's check that out once, how it is appearing right now on our screens. So it is almost the same, just that the A tag needs to be changed. Okay, that is not looking nice, so let's change the A tag right over here. That needs to be something like this, if you are able to see it. So let's change that. That would be dot box column, and the alpha tag, sorry, the anchor tag, not the alpha tag. Okay, so is it giving me the right colors? I don't think so. So font size, that is the first thing that we want to do. 13 pixels. Usually I go further with 12, but here it is a little bit bigger, so I'm going with 13. Color, we are going to use hash 009999. Okay, that is going to give us the tan color itself, teal color, not tan, teal. Okay, see, this is something that you learn, color combination, living with girls itself. If you have a sister, a girlfriend, or your best friend, you're going to learn about colors very soon. So yeah, font, let's keep up the font weight as 500. That should give us a good font weight itself. Let us save this, and let us go back to our screen, refresh the page. Okay, so that is giving us the same. The hover effect is not coming up right now because I haven't implemented it, and it's fine, we can implement the hover effect later on as well. There's no issues in that. What is the next thing that we need to do? Next thing that would be remaining, according to me, what should be the case? We need to bring it on top of the image. That is the first thing that needs to be done. So let's go back to the row and let's add one more thing right over here. That is going to be Z index. Let's put up the Z index as 1 and let's see what happens. Z index 1. Let us go back to our website, refresh the page. So now it is still coming at the bottom, but it is on the top itself. Let's bring it a little bit up. I think so that might help us a bit. So which particular item should we bring it to the up itself? Let's try that out. Let's see. Okay, which particular item should we bring on the... Okay, so right now what we are able to see on our screen is that the particular image is coming right over here, this is going down, so we need to bring it a little bit up so that it appears somewhere here. So we need to change the margins itself. First of all, these margins will not be right. So what we're going to do is the top margin from the top, we'll put it up as minus 20 VW, okay, viewport width. I've already explained it to you guys. Then for the right, so it basically goes around in a circle. So if you are doing top, then right, then bottom, then left. So right, we'll put it up as 30 pixels just like before. Bottom will put it up as same 20 pixels just like before. And we are going to change the left one to again the same to 30 pixels like before it. So the only thing that I'm changing is minus 20 VW from the top. That should give us it a little bit upstairs. And so along with the image, it will just go up. If we were putting 20, it will go down. So right now what is happening is we put 20 initially, so 20 on the bottom and top. So the image was going down below the image. That is not what we want. We want it to go upstairs. So negative, we have to put up the margin as. That is something that I've done right over here. So we save this, we go back to our website, refresh our page. So our particular one is coming upstairs. So now it is at the right location itself, but the Z index is not bringing it towards the front. It's still having that shade right over there. We don't want the shade, we want it up the image itself. So we cannot put it in the box row. Let's remove it from the box row and let's shift it to the box column. So that will be the box itself in its entirety. That should get us the right particular image on our screens. And yeah, now it looks fantastic. It is up the image, it is at the right particular location. We just want a bit more of these, at least 1, 2, 3, at least we need that. Let's go back to our index.html and let's check how many boxes do we have right now. -1, okay, so -1, 2, 3, 4, we have 4. So we need to copy paste this 4 times itself. So in the same, okay, so we need to copy this 4 times. So how are we supposed to copy it? That is also a good particular analysis. So what should we copy? Should we copy the entire div tag of the box row again and again, or should we copy the box column? What do you guys think? Should we copy the box row or should we copy the box column, guys? We will copy the box column. Okay, so we'll copy this particular thing up 4 times. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to change the numbers right over here. So this will be 4. This will be 3. This will be 2. And 1 we already have done. So we'll save this. We'll go back to our website, refresh our page, run this REPL to see result. What happened right over there? Okay, I think so. I need to refresh my page itself. The REPL had stopped working. Let's try to refresh the page. I think so. There's a problem with the internet. Give it a second, guys. It will refresh itself. Okay, so there is some problem with the Repellent. I don't know what is the current problem. We are also trying to identify it. If I'm trying to see that, it is actually showing up to be a temporary issue itself, as you're able to see right over here. Temporary issue connecting to Repels that just started right now. So once it is done, I'll just re-upload a small video showing you the final project, but that is done. That is the final project, guys. Try to complete it on your own, and once you have completed it, do post it on LinkedIn, do share it to your friends, add it to your resume, try to improve upon it, try to learn React.js, try to make some new things. Okay, so the React.js bootcamp is going to start right now. Definitely join that if you want to learn a little bit more about React. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. We'll meet in our next class, and you will be receiving your certificates in a few days itself. There's no attendance for today's class, so you don't have to worry about that. And a few days, 2-3 days, you will be receiving your certificates as well. Thank you so much on your email IDs. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and we'll meet in the next bootcamp. Okay, thank you, guys. Bye bye.